all that crap, yeah, and they jack the old flight prices up. So my wife she went on Orbitz, and dude, for the same price that I would have probably flown in, but it was actually about 80 to $100 more in February, in May. So, I was like, shit, that's because the flights now are freaking not bad. I'm not flying, I always used to fly Virgin. I'm not flying Virgin anymore because they're nickel and diming you. Watch the nickel and diming, dude. They're starting to do that now. They're starting to really nickel and dime you. It's bullshit.
Well, my mom was a flight attendant for
right,
like 45 years. So, the layovers and the extra bag fees and things that I look for immediately. But this trip, I'm thinking of just getting like a backpack from Amazon, just like whatever backpack, just enough to fit my camera stuff and just a random things. But I was actually thinking about going in May as well, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Oh shit! Because I'm like debating. I'm like, do I? Don't I? I'm in the position now where I'm really comfortable with where I'm at. And I know I've got family and friends and all that, of course. But it's I don't know. I just look at it. I haven't been back when it's actually been nice and sunny out in years. Because I always go back in February because I used to landscape. So as you know, winter shit goes down, right? There's nothing, even down here, everything slows down, around that time, because it's colder and I blowing, and so I used to do that. So I used to get back in February, and then I have a mate, or my wife has done it as well back in the early days that I had it, but they would take over and cut it right before the week I get back. But I used to go back for freaking 4 weeks, but now I've got this job that I'm doing now. I can't do that. You can't do that to people. And my mum ain't got no internet or nothing like that. She's in her 80s and she's like, I don't need internet. You know what I mean? So, how you been, dude? What's been going on with you? You surfing?
Yep, surfing and just the fact that I've gotten a little bit better has lent me the ability to not necessarily go out as much and be a little more picky with the days that I go out. But surfing a little bit. That's kind of what it was about. One, I haven't done one in about a month, so I thought it would be good.
Yeah.
But also, you had some pretty crazy weather too. We're about to get a proper snowstorm here over, probably starting. The sun was actually out a little while ago, but probably starting overnight or tomorrow morning, it's going to be pretty bad. Even the weather people said that it's going to be marginally bad.
Oh no shit! When they're saying it's a little bit like, ooh.
Yeah, and I think it's more we get this sometimes we get really wet snow, and I mean everything from the power lines to the tree branches and random stuff like that. It's
that transformer, matey. When you were talking about that, was you near it? Was it right there? Because I know you're right there. Oh no shit.
Yeah. So it's on a 20-foot pole, or maybe even 30-foot pole. But that pole is only 10 feet from where I park my vans. And, being up so high, I mean, that's probably a 3-foot transformer, and there's 2 of them. And I would have to assume I blew them both. But I went back there this morning, and it was fixed. The power company got back and fixed it. That was good. But,
does that power the whole... What is that? Is that just power in your area, or where's that power?
I don't know why we have that right there, because it's not like our shop has anything big. I guess we have a big air compressor, an industrial air compressor, and we have a welder and all this other shit. But I don't think that we have anything too big. But what it could assist with is the pump for the sprinkler system. Because we have a big...
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. we have there are like multiple big switchboards with fuses and everything, and the way like the electricity that I use to like make sure I don't freeze to death when I'm there, it's
Yeah.
only kind of controlled by like one little switch. So if anything happens with my specific power, I know what to do. But this was like, I think some brand like it must have just touched the lines together. I'm not an electrician, so I don't really know. However, it was pretty shocking. Like it was
I've
loud
seen
and
those go off. It's scary.
yeah, it's just like when a tornado hits, you see those big blue flashes.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So we're gonna get some weather. And did you guys get any tornadoes by you? Like, was there anything? How
It,
close?
my I live about probably about 35 to 40 minutes from the airport, like Orlando International Airport.
Mhm.
And my next door neighbour, like she does dressmaking, not dressmaking, you know, putting things on shirts and shit like that, you know, she does all that kind of thing
Okay.
for a lot of the school football teams and all
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
really?
Yeah, like that. She's got chains and all that, right? And my girls work for her now, right? They have jobs, which is great. It's fucking right next door. So there's a lady there apparently that was coming in from Canada. Now that storm that went through must be fucking. I don't know if you saw it, but it stretched literally from probably. I don't think it went to the Keys, but it was like all the way down near the south, and it went all the way up to fucking Canada. I mean, it was just this long freaking stretch all the way up.
Yeah.
And my youngest daughter messaged her and said, "Oh shit, you know, everything good." And she said that she was picking up this friend from the airport, and they had to run from a tornado because it touched down. What the thing? Hang on, let me get rid of that. The thing is with some of the tornadoes here is sometimes it's not such a freaking hurricane; it's the damn tornadoes. The last one that we all had to take cover under the freaking stairs
In your
because we was getting. Sorry.
in your house?
Yeah, yeah, because they say getting a central area in your house. If you can get it where there's block walls, even better. If not, you know, get underneath something like your stairs and shit like that. So my wife has like tornado alarms on her phone, like an app, you know, and it's like getting off. And we headed for this was I don't know what hurricane it was, but we headed for the freaking stairs and we got the radio on because we got one of those wind up ones. No electric, when that goes down, we'll have electric going up and shit, right?
Yeah.
And they were reporting touchdown of tornadoes, and what they were doing was they were small, but they were actually travelling land speed at 100 mile an hour too. So not only was they spinning at fucking 100 mile an hour, they were travelling at 100 mile an hour. And they were saying it's been touchdown here and like nearest UCF, which is not far from us, the university, it's more bit open there.
Yeah.
And so when we had this last storm come through a couple of nights ago there, the old freaking alarms started spouting off like freaking tornado watches warnings and shit. So we threw the local news on where the line that they were saying the tornadoes would come was right over us. Right? And it was just our lights went I was like, oh no. Dude, it's scary because those freaking tornadoes can take a house out and leave the two on either side of it just fine.
Yeah, right next to it. So I was born in Colorado, and I grew up in eastern Colorado, where there was, uh, yeah, 5 tornado warnings every month.
Yeah,
Luckily, the amount of construction that was going around, like it was 12 different subdivisions all going up at once. And I think luckily the amount of like pavement and stuff that they were putting down helped us a little bit because there was just open fields everywhere. I don't know how far. I think Florida is fairly flat. If I could say
Yeah,
five
yeah,
words all in a row, Florida
yeah,
fairly flat. But where we out in eastern Colorado, I grew up in a suburb called Aurora. It's just like not only is it flat, but it's just they weren't even growing anything. It was just mainly for like cows and
oh, shit.
so it was like ultra flat, and we never got any tornadoes that came close to us, a couple miles and stuff, but a little bit south of us, they would be, those like F3 or EF3s or whatever,
Yeah,
big enough, nothing massive like you get in Oklahoma or Nebraska, but
enough to fuck shit up.
yeah, and I remember multiple times when we would in middle school, elementary school, and I believe high school at least once or twice. They weren't drills. They were like tornado like warning. Like it was a big deal. And again, nothing ever happened. But
Yeah, it's scary,
yeah,
man. I remember the first hurricane that I witnessed was when Charlie that year. I forget what year it was, but the Charlie, I can't remember. But when Charlie happened, and then that was a crazy year because we had four hurricanes week after week that hit us. It was like and a week later, I think it was fastest, and a week later was another one, and then there was another one, but it hit the Panhandle. It didn't really affect us. We had rain in that, but we didn't really get affected that badly by it. But the Panhandle got hit.
hold on 1 second. Somebody said the audio is bad.
What?
Yeah.
Almost unviewable. Huh. I wonder if we should go out and come back in.
Perhaps. Hold on 1 second.
Because I'm just using my phone like I always do.
Yeah. Thanks, Arthur. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying something.
Yeah, really. It's still there. I don't know if he's still there. That's probably why people are jumping in and jumping out. I've noticed to come in and leave.
Yeah. Well, this thing with the YouTube app, you never really know how many people are actually in.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it showed up.
Well,
On little...
yeah. So, they are definitely coming in and out, but it could be saying 2, and it could all be gone. There could be 4 or 5. It's not super real time.
What's you do?
I turned Wi-Fi on, and we're just gonna go with it, dude.
Because I just set my phone up and switch it on.
Don't worry about it. As long, I don't know if you have any Bluetooth connectivity on. Sometimes if you just turn the Bluetooth off,
Okay, I did have Bluetooth on. I'll turn it off.
Yeah, I don't know because you're not breaking up. You're not. See, the thing with if I can't hear it, like yeah, when me and Uncle Billy did that live, remember that?
Yeah.
I could see him and hear him cutting out. You haven't been doing anything. But I also did my Wi-Fi on, and I'm pretty sure I can still connect. My mom has like 90G Wi-Fi, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of these views that I get on my live are on the back end. So I'll just put a little thing when this goes to upload. I don't know. Maybe it was his connection. I don't know.
We ain't got someone on that we know that would give us a heads up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you throw it into the WhatsApp now or not? You can't move it to go hey, we're on or something? But someone can let us know. Huh.
Did that disappear?
No, I just saw you come up in the group though, so it's gone to the group and you're still there. So, yeah, but Charlie, dude. That was my first real experience of having a house, because it was our first house. Having that experience of, oh shit, it's not an apartment where you're like, yeah, ain't a house. you know?
Yeah, everything's yours.
Mate, dude, I remember standing in, because we had a 2-story, and I remember standing upstairs and hearing rain in the attic, right? And thinking, and opening up the attic, and what they had done, like where the attic vents, where they vented, they got those freaking things on the roof where it's like open, but it's like a metal thing, that allows the air in and allows the heat to escape. I guess I want you freaking roof against fire down here. The rain, because it was coming freaking sideways, it was coming straight through that vent. But when I got up on the roof, they hadn't freaking flashed the bottom of it. They had left you had the metal come down to the roof, but they hadn't put any shingle over it, so you had a gap underneath the freaking metal thing too.
Yeah.
Dude, that rain, it was raining in my attic.
It was raining through the hole and up at you.
Through the freaking, it was coming sideways through that vent and raining down into the freaking attic. We could hear it, right?
Yeah.
So I had to grab towels, climb up the wood to the top of the roof, and shove it in the.
Nice.
Meanwhile, the roof's going. And I'm like, oh my god! Yeah, that was my first experience of actually shitting myself on a hurricane.
What the coffee roofer?
Not exactly. I wouldn't have been if I'd have been in that wood and the roof was off. I'd have been in a freaking roof parachute. Because it was like, dude, I'm saying to my wife, holy shit, we're going to lose the roof. Because I saw how they built it, and dude, those strapping things, have you seen
That's why they all go up. That's how you look at any house that gets touched by a tornado, just like you said, there's just splinters, and then the house next door, the fence isn't even ruined. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nuts. It's just like Mother Nature. It's just like, and again, like I haven't seen a lot of bad stuff out here, except for the houses on the lake. Like the first year that I was surfing, the water level was really, really high, and I don't know what or how that can be, because it was literally high for one full year, and then the next year it was back to normal, and like I'm talking like 4 feet, 5 feet difference, like up the beach, up rocks. It's bananas. But there were houses in Indiana and in Muskegon getting washed in on big days. The water would come up so high, and it's so nuts. It's so crazy. And like, people built these houses where they are in the 70s. Like a lot. That's when most of these houses were built, right on the lakeshore. But you look at where they are now, and it's like you got 50 feet. And I'm talking, when I say 50 feet, it drops off. And you got 100 feet, but it's right down, it's right on the sand. There you see, where on the ocean, time. I think now with the sea levels rising and different things like that, you're going to have bigger storms. But for the most part, all those houses that were going to be washed in, they've already been washed in. Like, so I think you probably know a little bit better, especially like, you came from England, which is a freaking island. So even though you weren't, right on the water all the time, you're closer to big water than we ever were. And then you're in Florida now. So it's like, the wind and tornadoes is crazy, but I'm a full believer in like water being the equalizer of everything. Like it takes everything out.
The best friend and your worst enemy. I mean, the biggest worry for us where I lived in London is we just picked up the road from the River Thames. And that's huge, right? And which was a barrier where if the tide is rising to a certain level, they manoeuvre this barrier that comes up and it's supposed to stop the main city of London from getting flooded.
It's connected to the ocean, like directly, right?
River Thames does, yeah. So you should see it. If you look at a map of it, it's pretty amazing. Like all the different areas and all these different little canals and everything, it all feeds down into the Thames, and the Thames, it travels all the way through Kent, and it goes on for miles. The River Thames. Where I lived in London, I lived on one of the widest parts of the Thames. I mean, it didn't even look like a river. It's freaking massive. It's like you on that lake. It looks like the freaking ocean. Right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
There's been times when that level of that water. I remember there's a place called Greenwich, really historical place called Greenwich, and my family kind of originated from there. And I was back one year, and I was walking. There's an area like right on the Thames is like right there with a railing, but there's a pavement where you're walking past really nice historical buildings and shit. But it's a walkway, right, that you can walk along. And the tide was so freaking high that it came in and it washed up all over. We freaking went up ankle deep in water. I jumped and landed and grabbed hold of the freaking railings. My sister and my mum are like standing there like in a paddling pool. The freaking, and the Thames used to be filthy. It
Right, I
used
was
to
gonna
be,
say.
dude, it used to smell. It was so polluted.
Right.
Because everybody used to chuck their shit in there, literally shit. Right?
Well, yeah, and London has had people there for a long freaking time, very long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Can you hear us, Billy?
Yeah, Billy, what's the noise like? What's the audio like here?
Because someone came on and said that we were breaking up crazy. Good to see you, by the way. Hope everything's good. But yeah, there's a market in London that you would love. Actually, are you going to visit London? Are you going to go to London or not?
I don't know. Oh, sounds good here. So you know what, dude? It was probably me again because I
No, it
had
could
my
have been
phone,
me. I had Bluetooth on.
maybe, but I had my phone up here too, and I got the window covering is like on this side of it is like it's not foil, but it's like that Reflectix
Oh
material.
yeah.
So
Bounces.
it could have been scrambling us or whatever. Anyways, thanks,
But
Uncle Billy.
are you going to London? You going to visit London at all?
So I don't know. Like I really don't know. I have no desire to. I might, but
Because there's some really good historical places that I think you'd really like.
yeah,
It's the one of the markets that I used to go to is called Borough Market, and it's right smack in the middle of London. It's right off of London Bridge Station, and there's been a market of one way, shape, or form there for 1,000 years.
so
And
crazy.
there's a cathedral right next to it called Southwark Cathedral, which is right. It's all right on the Thames. It's right close to the Thames. But you walk into that. You don't even have to be religious, mate. You walk into that cathedral, you feel the freaking history of it. I mean, it's an amazing area. You go to there's an area where you walk through to the back of the cathedral, and they've got the floor opened up to where they'd been excavating. And dude, it goes back thousands of years down, and they're showing you the different years of the floor of how it's grown and how they've built on top of kind of thing.
Yeah,
And you got the old Roman road and shit right there, and the Roman wall is right there, and it's an amazing area that just to walk around because you can feel it's old London. Like you got the modern shit there. But then if you like history and you start getting into the oldest parts of London, dude, it's a bit like, wow, shit,
yeah.
you know?
Well, and even like never being there and just the thought of it. Um, and I think I've told you this before, but like just the idea that you got like whatever little town that you're in, you could be 4 houses down from a place where like people have lived for 1,000 years, just like you said.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
so crazy. And like I'm sure that the history of America is very skewed for whatever reason because it's not as obvious, but also like I think when people showed up here, they were more interested in making a name for their own place than
Right,
preserving what used to be here. And in England and really the United Kingdom as a whole, like there has been so much around for so long that there's never been a time where there's been, oh, like let's take this out, because there's always been people like, hey, like that's part of our heritage, that's part of like my family, that's part of like my great whatever, like so it just wasn't. But like you come here and there's a big gap where there were either all the people who were interested, like the Native Americans, and or even
right,
earlier,
right.
where they either were overpowered or they died off for whatever reason. Or I mean there's just big gaps where there just weren't human beings around. And it's just not like that there. And I think that went, and then obviously, like, you just have things that just happen, like money takes over, greed takes over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
sometimes they knock down a building that they maybe shouldn't have or whatever. But dude, I think about that all the time. And yeah, I am definitely interested in the history, but I'm also interested in just like, random little towns, like whatever
Oh,
on
they're
the way
awesome.
to whatever I'm doing. Yeah, it's like, cause like you could see how regular people live. That's cause I'm not a huge tourist person anyways. I would love to see different specific historical things or whatever. But yeah, the older the better. And like I'm probably 40-ish% Finnish, but the rest is like Irish, Scottish. And even though I'm not going to Ireland or Scotland, just that whole
Oh, well,
area,
you're not.
just the
Damn, dude.
same, yeah, just the same vibe. And it's just so interesting the length of people that have been there and the
Yeah.
amount. It's just like, I mean, every day I try to watch one or two documentaries. And right now I'm kind of stuck on like the ancient civilization thing, but I'll throw on ones about like the Mayan civilization or
Yeah.
like Vikings or Norse culture or whatever. And
You look like
yeah,
it.
I do. Yeah, you know, I
Maybe,
and I
maybe you are like it.
well,
Finland?
it's so weird, dude. In my family, we have two people who are like and it's not just a little bit blonde. Like they're my uncle and my aunt, they're getting up there in age, but it's just there's no gray still. It's just platinum blonde, right? And we don't have any like redheads, but as you can see, this
Yeah.
time of year, dude, my beard gets red, very red.
Irish.
Well, and I think so because I mean, no, again, we don't have any like real redheads, but like I think I'm the closest one. And then the summer it turns on, but yeah, it's crazy. So I think I got something there.
That's
The mother
Irish.
won't.
Mate. Red? Shit, mate.
The,
I've
the
got
mother
an
won't
American
let
mate here that's Irish. Irish American, but he's Irish, Irish. You know,
yeah.
he's Irish. And he's got that red head. You know, it could be that. It could be part. You got Irish in your blood, mate. That's where it's coming from. And then you got
Oh
the
yeah.
fucking Finland.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my dad's dad. Uh, my grandpa's name was Edwin Gustav. Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
One of his sister's names was Minerva. So like, it's very, very Finnish. And our last name is
Yeah.
Finnish, so it's not like it's a Haikala or a Heikkinen or whatever. But it's if you see some of my family, and they're all Ubers from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and you just need to meet like two of them, and then you're like, all right, like again, I was born in Denver. I lived in Denver my whole life, but every year, at least once a year, I would spend a few months in the UP, and I'm a native of there too. Like, if it's just it's such a weird thing. But yeah, I'm very interested in I'm excited to go over there. I'm interested just to see, like, because I've never been out of the country, and it's just like,
Oh, wow. No shit. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So
That's
I'm
going to be
pretty
an
excited.
experience.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited about it, and but yeah, I don't know. Definitely more interested in just seeing how people are and just seeing the differences of the country, and because you can always see Big Ben and all that other shit.
Yeah, I worked there. I worked there for 6.5 years. Big
Really?
Ben. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Starting to break up.
That's so bizarre.
I don't understand that.
I don't know.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Ben, I worked in that building for 6.5 years, and that clock tower, I've been up in that clock tower. I did a tour up there. It's pretty interesting actually to learn the mechanisms of how they keep that time, because it's like spot on when it's been time. I mean, there's no question.
Big Ben can't be a minute off.
No, there's no way. The fucking clock tower, oh, I can't say that. I remember one day I got a story about that, funny enough. When I was working there, we used to, lunchtimes and that, sometimes we'd go up on the roof, like when it was nice, we'd go up on the roof, there had chairs and shit up out there, we used to, sit up there for a break. And I'm sitting there one day, and I've got the clock, like, right behind me. I mean, the thing is fucking it's no joke, right? It's massive, this clock. And it's right behind me, like, right here. And I'm talking to my mate, and I'm like, shit, mate, what's the time? And he goes, behind you. Oh, yeah. But that clock tower, I don't know if they still do it this way, but they used to use old pennies, like our old English pennies, which are quite big. They were quite large when you go back there and look at these. But the old pennies, they used to use them as the weights, because they were the right amount of weight to counterbalance the mechanism to time it. So if it was slightly out and they needed to speed it up, they would take pennies off. And if they needed to freaking speed it up, they put pennies on. It was pennies. You could see them. Amazing.
That's
Amazing.
so crazy. Yeah. I wonder how much it costs. What's that?
The clock face, when you're in it, because when you're on the street and you look up, yeah, big, right? But when you get up into that clock face, dude, that thing is stupid. It's like, have you ever gone to a building and like, I've only had this happen twice, and the last time was when I was at the Shard in London. You know that big triangular glass building, the Shard, right?
Yeah.
I remember standing at the base of that and looking at it and going a little bit lightheaded because it was like overwhelming. Yeah, and I've had it a couple of times, and that clock face kind of does that. Like when you go up there and you're standing in that clock face, and you're like, huh?
Like vertigo almost.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just a little bit of a kind of heady feeling. It's really strange because you know what it looks like from the street.
Right.
But once you get in, you're like,
Yeah, it's like when you see one of those street lights up close. Like they're like 4.5 feet tall. They're a foot tall hanging up there, but they're huge.
right. But that there's a story around that as well, because you get to go up in the actual bell tower where all the bells are. Well, obviously it's a bell tower, big bells there, right? But you get to go in the bell tower right as it's going to strike 12 o'clock. And the guy that does the tour, he'll say to you, okay, everybody has to be completely silent because when it hits that 12 o'clock, it's broadcast live over BBC radio. So he said he had an American fella there that he gave the warning. He's like, listen, this is loud because the bell itself is fucking ridiculous. I think it's crazy amount of tons, this bell, the main bell, right? And zone. You're looking at this massive belt. There's a bit of a pause because as soon as that second hand hits that 12, the hammer is already coming back and it's massive, right? And when it hits 12, it just, right? So you're all standing up there and you watch it. Well, it's broadcasted live. So he said, as soon as that freaking bell hit, this American fella goes, "Oh shit!" and it broadcast. Across the freaking yeah, BBC radio went across because it's all live.
Oh, oh my gosh!
But yeah, man, the city of London. If you're over there, it's worth even if you just spend a day. It's not long enough, but even if you just spend a day, just going around certain areas in London, you don't have to do the tourist shit, right? I mean, Borough Market, yeah, it's touristy, but there's a shit ton of locals there, and dude, it's all fucking food, and you can have lunch there, and there's people cooking all different cultures, bread, and there's fucking meat hanging up in shops and truffles, and it's amazing. It's an amazing place. Worth a visit, I tell you.
It's crazy when you don't think of England as being like a food place, but I saw like multiple episodes of like Anthony Bourdain and back in the early 2000s when all those cooking shows were on like the Discovery Channel. Every time they would be in England, it's just there's people from everywhere there. So it's like America. Like, yeah, America doesn't have its own food, but like there are so many different like variations of people's food. Just like in England, like I mean, I've heard multiple times that like Indian food in England is like ridiculously good. If you've never heard it, you would never assume that.
Yeah, we have a massive Indian culture there. We got everything: Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Indian. I mean, there's such a vast different mix of cultures there, and now everybody's being born there and growing up that way, but they're bringing their own touch to it, which is really, really nice because
it's a little bit different.
It's actually Indian food is actually one of the national dishes of England.
Yeah. Curry? Is that what it is?
Curry. The thing you did when you was partying in London is you went out, you got tanked, pissed up, right? And then you go and have a ruby. And everybody was like, right, ruby. And you're all drunk and you're fucking abusing people and they just take it. It's sad. It's really sad. And then, and you're like, hey, give me some poppadoms but the food is amazing. It's proper. Now here's a thing for you. I believe it's chicken tikka, right? The dish chicken tikka, which is an Indian dish, right? Wasn't actually made in India. It was actually made for the British. Because they wanted us, and they made this. It's Indian. I mean, Indians made it, invented it, but
they made it to the palate of British people, yeah.
Right, and it just became one of those on the menu. If you go in and you look at an Indian menu and there's not chicken tikka on there, it's like, leave here, shit, right? But the Indian culture there and everything, I had Indian friends, growing up, and it's absolutely amazing the amount of different dishes that are crossed over too. You'll have, say, like Chinese fusing with Indian. I mean, they fuse them. They use the same spices and they make up these dishes, and it's really cool how it's all started to fuse together, and there's different cultures involved now. And then there was, there's the cultures that I didn't know that are here. Latin, right? I didn't know Latin food. I had no idea. And when we the first time I went out one of the first times I went out with my wife for something to eat, and we went Latin, and I remember picking up the menu and going, "What's fajitas?" And she's like, "What?"
British people pronouncing Mexican food is always a fun one. Like just taco, taco,
Taco. Yeah, it's
taco, you
yeah,
geezer.
yeah.
Dude, what did Uncle Billy say? He said, "Don't know what you did, but it cleaned up." Is it anything like? I think it is like chicken masala. I've never
Yeah.
had tikka or masala, but
Tikka, tikka. Actually, well, masala. No, masala is it's a different flavor altogether. Really, chicken, chicken tikka. They say chicken tikka masala, but it's very red.
yeah,
Um, they one thing that they do, which is really nice. If you're over there, get it right. If you see it, because they normally sell it in like the supermarkets where you can get pre-made sandwiches. Chicken tikka sandwich. I mean, I'm freaking plant based now, right? But you get a chicken tikka because it's marinated in all the spices and all that chunks of chicken, and they make a
yeah,
sandwich, right? It's the lunch sandwich.
yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's a good. That's a good dish. But masala, it's a bit different. But yeah, it's I mean,
Like
you look at,
like the consistency, I think is different. Again, I'm just going off of things that I've seen on TV, so I don't know. I've never eaten it, but I'm pretty sure Uncle Billy has a much more refined palate than me, just coming from Hawaii with all the Japanese influence and
yeah. Again, it's over.
yeah,
What would be the oldest restaurant in the whole?
the oldest brothel, and if they sold food, there you go.
Probably right. You'll find it.
Oh shit.
But no, I when it goes back in history, I'm trying to answer Uncle Bill a little bit. From when I was a kid and going back beyond that. When you start looking at the peasant food, if you're looking into towards the city, pie mash, pie mash was brought about. Menzies was the family, the Menzies family. Actually, my mum knew one of the Menzies, and they brought that out during the war when the Second World War broke out because no one could afford it. They made this pie mash dish. It's still restaurants over there, mash shops, and I used to absolutely love it because I mean you get this meat pie. God knows how they make the pastry because the pastry ain't like anything I've eaten. It's completely different work. And then you got your mash and what they call lecker. Then people put their nose up with lecker because they're like, what's that sweet? And it's a parsley sauce that
Oh wow.
you throw this parsley sauce all over your freaking, your mash and your pie and vinegar. You throw vinegar all over the side of that. It's an old London cockney dish, basically. And then you add cockney heels with it. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
I've heard of them, never eaten them.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're good. Loads of pepper, loads of freaking black pepper, mate. Loads of pepper. Yeah, the old chili heels are good as well. But pie mash, mate, you could pick it up really cheap because that's what it was better, And I was brought up on lamb chops and liver and kidneys and oxtail. It was dishes that you could afford. I didn't come from a freaking rich family. My mum cooked cheap family and puddings and she was always everything was too fresh. She would cook puddings and freaking all nice sweet. So those experiences that like desert food, he said here.
What's up, Aaron? How are you, buddy? We were going to talk about surfing, but we just started talking about everything else. So it's just like,
Let's talk surfing.
I just put. Yeah, think funny because I was thinking about this, and when I get over there, I might not surf in the ocean before I go in the wave pool. Oh yeah. I don't know why the audio is so fucked up.
No,
It's so frustrating.
I have no idea. Remember when I did that with Rick all night? And it was shocking. I don't know if it's on my end, but all I've done is what we always do: just set my phone up and switch it on.
It's bizarre.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. That's
Well, I'm doing it anyway, so.
yeah, we had a good talk. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll end it and.
Yeah, because it seems like if it's all over the bleeding shop. I don't know why
Yeah,
it would.
well, and you know what? This will be good because I'm gonna upload this one and maybe on the back end when it gets processed and everything, it'll fix itself. I don't know because that, like I said, you're not choppy to me at all.
No, you're straight up like we normally do. There's no dropping out or nothing. You're not even pausing on my screen.
That's what I'm saying. You're not cutting out at all for me. But again, like
Now it sounds good.
Fucking A. Well, at any rate, Aaron, Uncle Billy couldn't understand a word before. Oh, it's so weird. That's so weird. Well, thanks for coming, Aaron, and definitely thank you, Uncle Billy.
Try putting phone in different position. Could it be me? Could it be mine? Could it be my shit?
I don't think so. I just flipped you upside down just to be there. But yeah, I don't know. It's always good to talk to the Kami Buddha, and yeah, if it like I said, I'm gonna upload this one. Hopefully, it um, hopefully it fixes itself on the processing while I was uploading. If it does, and you don't know who this guy is, you gotta go to his channel. Cockney Buddha is on the bottom of my screen. He's got a podcast on Spotify called Real with Cockney Buddha. He also is a stupid audio. You aren't you what is your profession? Title yourself. What if you had to make a business card, what does it say you are?
A counsellor. It's I mean, I've got my certification for counselling now. You know, people I work with call me a therapist. You know, I think I don't hold a degree. You know, but I pretty much work on people that want to commit and shift their life. That's what I do. You know, it's about, and I was just talking to my therapist about this today, it's about when you've got certain things going on in your life, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be trauma. You know, you might just want to shift in a different direction and you're having trouble getting there. People that sit in front of me, that's what I do, is I work and give 100% and do whatever I've got to do to get this person to shift their whole life. It's not about, I mean, yes, 90% of what I do is with the mind, you know, and shifting the patterns of the mind and what the mind says is not true, and look in the backgrounds and see where things come from and what triggers are, etc., like that. That's a good 80 to 90% of what I do. But it's about, I want to just take somebody and just go, you want to go over there, let's go over there, and completely shift the whole life. My life completely changed when I started thinking this way. You know, you know, I always say with each choice, of course, I chose to go in this direction, but at the time, the old me was stuck, completely stuck. Didn't know who I was, didn't know shit, didn't I didn't know what forgiveness was. No idea. Well, my therapist talked about forgiveness. I looked at her like a deer in the headlights, and she's like, "You don't know what that is, do you?" I'm like, "No," because it didn't exist. You didn't forgive. It just was. So,
just a word mostly for people.
yeah, there's certain energies around that word. There's certain things. It's okay saying that you forgive someone, but the only way you can forgive someone is if they're wholeheartedly sorry from the heart, and you're seeing change, right? If you've got someone there that's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," and they're doing it again, and they're not trying to shift. We all slip. We all have slips, but if they're not shifting, they're not showing that they want to shift.
If they're not doing anything, then there's no way that you could be doing that if you're not making a conscious effort to help yourself.
Right. So that what I do. I've had some people this week, and I've had some people where it's been not right. It's where we're going, and that's what I do. It's all about life shift. Shifting someone's life, shifting someone's mind, shifting someone's life. And it's an absolute pleasure and a blessing, and I'm very humbled to be able to do it, because I never dreamed ever. I come from a chefing background, and I had a business landscaping, and you know what I mean? So to be in a position where I am now with my therapist, we've done some very, very heavy work. I've gone suicidal and all kinds of shit. And just sticking to that commitment to self. And that's what I like people to see. Commitment to self. If you come in front of me, be committed. If you're not, I'm not your guy. I want people who are ready to work, ready to put that effort in, ready to acknowledge your shit, ready to be able to get things that I'm here and still show up for it. Right? I'm sitting in front of my fucking therapist and being told, you don't want to acknowledge that, but if you're done, you ain't going to shift. So it's a big part of what I do, and what I love to do is just shift in life. That's the way I can really do it. Like life coaching, but more.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, if anybody saw any of this, hopefully they saw the last 3 minutes of it, because we did bullshit, but you can always go over to his channel and get some actual help. If you want it, he's there. And message him on Instagram. It's the Cockney Buddha everywhere. And whether or not this audio ever cleans up, this is going to get uploaded. Should be ready to go in a couple hours. And I'm glad we got to finish our conversation. What a fucking joke. My phone bill isn't even due for another 2 weeks, so I know, and I got 90 more gigs of. It's so dumb. But again, perhaps, whatever. And even if it doesn't, I don't care. I'm just glad I got a chat.
I've got to talk to my mate, Joe. As long as it's always a good thing.
Yeah, I don't even care if it fixes itself or not. To be perfectly honest, sorry, viewers, but it's all good. Anyways,
it's like talking on WhatsApp, mate. It's just a chat.
Yeah. Dude, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Always a pleasure.